Remember 2008? The president called Obama the chap named Lewis Hamilton, winning his first F1 title, and meanwhile, the car industry worshipped at the altar of diesel. Tax breaks were built around its low-CO2 habits. It conquered everything from the once exclusively petrol Range Rover segment to the diminutive smart Ford city car. And at Le Mans, Audi was on a 3-year winning streak with the R10 TDI, the first turbodiesel machine ever to come home first at the world's most illustrious 24-hour race. Diesel meant range, torque, and at last, high performance. Modern diesel engines were smooth enough to power high-end cars without invoking agricultural equipment comparison. Enter Audi, keen to draw up a link between its Le Mans hat trick and its road cars, hatching a plot to create the shock Munich Buster, the world's first diesel-powered supercar. Back in 2008, the R8 was new on the scene and continuing to bowl reviewers over with the savage noise of its 4.2-liter naturally aspirated V8, its playful balance, and how darn exotic the thing looked. There was no doubt Audi had made the credible, desirable junior supercar the ideal platform for diesel to reach new heights of silliness. At the time, the VW Group's flagship diesel was a 5.0-liter V10 TDI that had seen duty in the Volkswagen Touareg. Audi's engineers, keen to one-up the parent brand, had been beavering away on a 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12 TDI destined for service in an ultimate version of the Q7 4X4. It developed 500 PS, 493 bishop, in old money, and a staggering 738 pounds-foot of torque. That's 1,000 Newton-meters of twist, from 1,750 RPM. Remember, this is a time before we'd all been mind-frazzled by the instant torque of a Tesla F. Audi had a monster on its hands. Administering this volcanic engine to an unsuspecting R8 concept car wasn't a dawdle. The V12's block was a lot longer than the V8, so stowage space behind the R8's seats was sacrificed. To cool the searing turbos, the car's infamous side blade intakes were teased open, and the NACA duct was plumbed into the glass roof panel. Meanwhile, the front intake's rear vents were enlarged to cope with the V12's ravenous appetite for air to combust, or cool itself. Despite weighing 150 kilograms more than a conventional R8, Audi claimed the new Franken diesel could scorch from 0-60 mph in 4.2 seconds, half a second faster than the petrol version. Top speed was calculated at 193 mph. And yet, 25 mpg was possible in daily driving, with 30 mpg on a long-run mooded. All this despite maintaining the R8's signature feature, the open-gate, 6-speed manual gearbox. Audi debuted the car at the Los Angeles Motor Show with a 50 minutes and 50 seconds intent on a production run. Apparently, several blank check offers were made for the concept itself. We'd wager a few of those would-be buyers would have balked had they realized the concept car wasn't quite as production-ready as it looked. Unable to get the R8's gearbox to fit in front of the gargantuan engine, engineers had pinched one from an 8.4. Keen students of physics will be aware that a 2008 Audi A4's gearbox really isn't designed with handling 1,000 torques in mind. So, the mighty engine was detuned to under 400 pounds-foot, so the fierce-looking concept didn't detonate its transmission into shrapnel. Despite its positive reception, the R8 V12 TDI concept remained a one-off folly. In 2009, Audi released the R8 V10, featuring a detuned 5.2-liter Lamborghini Gallardo engine and performance figures even quicker than the diesels. Plus, It was about £80,000 less than what the TDI would have cost to buy, and sounded approximately 400% more exotic. Instead, Audi poured its alternative fuel R8 development euros into an electric e-tron version, which was offered for public sale in 2014, and promptly sank without trace. To this day, Audi refuses to say how many R8 e-trons it sold, preferring to class it as an engineering exercise, which is usually code for "please don't remind the accountants about that." Though the V12 diesel heart of the R8 did indeed go on to live in a short-lived Q7, that marked peak diesel. Since then, Dieselgate has robbed turbody cells of their political credibility, which has switched allegiance to X overnight. Just about the only bit of this ballsy R8 that lived on is fixing the engine start and drive select buttons to the steering wheel. You'll see the same detail in the new R8 V10 Plus. So, not a complete folly after all, then. Cough.